Good evening, Awoken. Happy Awoken Wednesday, everybody. Glad to have you here on this Wednesday evening. April Fool's Day. Hopefully, nobody pranked you so hard today or fooled you out of money, finances, feelings, any of that stuff. And hopefully, maybe you did the inverse of that. Maybe you were able to trick some of your friends or coworkers, family members. I sure got mine. So I texted in the family group chat today that the Washington Commanders were an imminent decision is that they would be they would be going back to the Washington Redskins. And I was able to trick my aunt and uncle. Excuse me for that belch. Sorry. I was able to trick up my aunt and uncle with that little joke. So, all fun and games on April Fool's Day. Hope you all had a great day today. If you were with us this morning on the morning stream, you saw us, you were with us and saw several man on the street interviews. We talked with a lot of people outside of the Supreme Court today, discussing some of their concerns with birthright citizenship and the Trump administration's efforts to degrade the 14th, or at least at a minimum, repeal birthright citizenship, make it either go to the Congress, go to the states, etc. And the president this morning actually became the first sitting U.S. president in history to attend an oral argument on the nation's highest court. So pretty cool historic day, even though I feel like it won't get yet in 2 to 3 days from now. I doubt anyone's going to be talking about it, but if you were with us this morning on the stream, you definitely saw a little bit of history. So if you didn't check that out live, definitely want to go back, catch some fun moments. There's a Santa Claus, actually, seemed to be a little disheveled. Unemployment is hitting Jolly St. Nick a little hard nowadays, especially in April. He looked a little rough. So if you know what I'm talking about, you want to go back and watch that interview. Man, he was talking about making the state of Maryland Michelle Obama, just call the state Michelle Obama because so many black people live in Maryland. It's stuff I had never heard of before. So some pretty interesting remarks from Santa Claus this morning. One of our man on the street interviews also had some conversations with other protesters. All were genuinely nice people. But yeah, so that was their second protest in last 3, 4, 5 days. So hopefully you're enjoying some of this protest coverage. Finally got some clips out from the No Kings protest on Saturday, if you were with us. Let's put there we go. Alrighty. Yeah, got a pretty active comment section already this evening, so thrilled to see that. Parker, Outpost 231, and the Colonel, they're all hanging out in the chat right now, so you'll definitely want to go down and join them, see how they're doing, interact with the community. We are building where now the Colonel, you have people like the Colonel, Parker, Lucy, Z, Survive, Bear, Trossway, Green Substance. So many people that are returning to the streams on a frequent basis now. And we're really starting to, get a pretty solid foundation for this community and this channel. So I'm really excited with how we've progressed. And actually earlier today on the stream this morning, we eclipsed 700 subscribers. So that's another milestone in the dust now for us. So thank you all for subscribing to the channel. And speaking of subscribing, if it's your first time on the live stream. If you're listening to this video the next day on Spotify or Rumble, maybe, or even on YouTube still, please hit that subscribe button to the YouTube channel. It's the channel we're pushing the hardest right now, trying to get this one monetized. Then we'll start focusing on some of the others, but we are at a really progressing very well, very happy. Never satisfied. Of course, that D1 mentality I have can never be satisfied, but we are very pleased with our progress. Speaking of the community, please feel free to join the Discord. So Trosway joined yesterday, so now it's myself, Z, and Trosway down in the Discord. We share breaking news, other important updates that are helpful for, I believe, the long-term stability and legitimacy of this channel. Is that if we're all more or less kind of on the same page in terms of breaking news or coverage, or maybe even, let's say, like my big thing, or some of my big things are like immigration, Iran, and Middle East politics, protests in DC, but maybe I'm not as in tune with like the AI and all of the new tech and like Elon stuff, and that's something that Z is particularly strong with. He knows a lot about all this new tech, low tech, big tech. So we're able to, as a team, more or less, able to help each other out, fill in the loose ends with breaking news and stuff that we need to, or at least should understand. So definitely, please feel free to join the Discord. Would love to have you there. You can find the link to the Discord in the description of this video or the channel bio on YouTube. Speaking of some of the other channels that we have, you can follow us on Spotify, Rumble, Twitch, X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify. I think that's all 8, or Twitch as well. Discord, excuse me. But we're on 8 different platforms. You can find us on all 8 of those. So we'd love to have you join some of those other platforms as well, as we really start moving the ball here. Okay, so now that I got that, we did a little recap. We're going to be talking, so our main story, our featured headline, our topic for this week, this Awoken Wednesday, is, it's news, maybe not as political, but it's still something that I felt, kind of given the time, we're kind of in a rock in the hard place a little bit with some of these, the news cycle, right? I don't want another episode about just Iran. So need to spread out the content a little bit. So we're going to be talking about Tiger Woods tonight. The professional golfer suffered his 4th pretty serious car accident this past week. We'll be discussing him and his life. Hopefully you can become awoken to the arguably one of the greatest golfers of all time. So he's our main topic tonight. So before we dive into the main topic, would love to remind you, hit that subscribe button, leave the video a like, join Parker and the Colonel and GZDR4EV in the comment section tonight. Have someone on Twitch. That's wonderful. On the stream tonight, we'll be getting his, we'll be taking his questions real quick here. But yeah, we're going to be talking about Mr. Woods and his athletic career and his problem with whether it's opioids, alcohol, substance abuse, etc. So let's get to some of the comments here. Let's go back up. So around a half, gotta give a lot of props to some of my fans in the community. Parker and the Colonel and Outpost were on here before even 8 o'clock. They were already in the comment section chit-chatting, talking with each other, talking about the president's speech, which we will We won't probably, if we have time, we'll maybe catch some of it live, but that's not the main focus tonight. But the president is supposed to be giving an address to the nation about the operation in Iran. Don't want to overload you guys with Iran coverage, though. Let's go. Yeah, they were talking about birthright citizenship a little bit, and feels like waiting for the New Year's Eve ball to drop, watching the countdown. Doesn't Santa Claus have child labor? Yeah, those little elves, man. They're producing all time. Would you fight in the war if you get drafted? If I got drafted, I would. Yes, I'd fight if I was drafted. And do you have encouraging words for Jade and Ivy? Corporations can be so ice cold. So that's a subplot that's worth a minute or two. I did catch this, whether it was yesterday or 2 days ago. It was sometime this week, or maybe late weekend, maybe Sunday at the earliest, from what I can remember at least. And you have, so Mr. Ivy is on the Chicago Bulls. I believe he was a first round draft pick just a couple of years ago, maybe a top five, like a lottery pick, I believe, maybe even a top five pick in the last handful of years. And I think he was on Instagram Live or on YouTube Live. He was streaming of some sort, and just had a couple of comments that upset maybe the PC class in the country, or maybe it frightened the Chicago Bulls marketing team, and they cut him. They just simply let him go. I'm not sure of his stats this season. Maybe there were some other problems, and maybe this was just a convenient excuse to dump him. But we'll look into his stats here a little bit. We'll do some additional searching and digging for this. But yeah, like I'm on my channel all the time, and I can't say I don't know exactly everything he said, but I don't believe he ever called for violence. And my thing on the channel is that it's free speech, 1,000%, and until people are talking about killing people or violence or encouraging violence, that's all it really. And if he wasn't encouraging violence, I don't see how it was really harmful rant. But we'll go through. We'll maybe even try to watch it together here at the end of the stream. But that's a very good question, though. We will. We'll go through it together and check out Mr. Ivy's comments. Here, the former Chicago Bulls basketball player is now looking for his next gig. Maybe he'll be able to snag one somewhere. Okay, so very good question. Thank you for tuning into the stream tonight, though. Happy that you're here watching on Twitch. Parker says, doesn't he know you can't park there? Wait, maybe it was something about my when I was talking about the Supreme Court protest this morning. Let's see. Then, oh yeah, he was John Day, great golfer. Man, an all-time meme as well. I remember the Carolina Panthers and the Kansas City Chiefs during the NFL season this past NFL season. Every couple of weeks, the Panthers and the Chiefs would have the same record, and it was always the photo of him smoking a cigar with his like cotton candy outfit on. It was like bright pink, light blue, purple. Not purple. But he was, yeah, a pretty funny meme during the NFL season, especially with the Panthers and the Chiefs. Just to kind of show, like, Panthers not a very good team. Chiefs supposed to be good, and they kept tying. Absolutely, yeah, smoking those cigarettes. Do you think mutual combat should be allowed in all states? Hmm. Could you awoken me to the definition of mutual combat, please? Yeah, I'm not. I don't want to just bullshit an answer. And that's about Tiger Woods can't park there. Ah, there we go. Tracking. Okay, so um, yeah, we're going to head into the Tiger Woods slide deck here. We're going to be talking all about Tiger this evening, a little bit of golf, just something a little different. Yeah, a little different from geopolitics. Gives us kind of a fun week. Ooh, that's not the right guy. Hang on. Should be Gucci. Okay, perfect. All right. Oop. Sorry, it just keeps screwing up. All right, we'll keep it on this guy a little bit. Alrighty. So we're going to be talking about all about Tiger tonight, the prodigy. So here, let's before we get into it, two people. To Parker's question, two people agreed to fight, and afterwards they do not call the cops or get in trouble. Both parties agree to fight. Several differences with hands, not words, mutual combat. Do you know how many states it's legal in right now? Um, because I think the only problem is that the concept of it I don't think is a bad idea or wrong necessarily. It's just like there's well, I guess if both people agree to not just end it there, then there's really nothing that can happen. But um, yeah, let's say someone gets like a brain aneurysm or something during the fight that isn't found at the time, and then they die. Then like, would a great lawyer be able to screw one of the people involved in it, like the person who won the fight or the person that didn't die? So it could maybe be a Pandora's box a little bit. All right. Ah, there we go. Okay, finally. Wonderful. And Texas and Washington. Wonderful. Okay, so we're going to head into the slide deck for this evening. Young Tiger Woods, very young man here, right? Introduced to golf by his father, Earl Woods. Incredibly young age, young boy. Um, and was in front of the camera as young as 2 years old. The father, yeah, Tiger takes a lot of pride and personal attributions from his father, right? The father taught him how to golf, how to stay tough mentally, disciplined, physically, and definitely a generational talent, right? Let's try to get Tiger in the big leagues or in the PGA, excuse me. Let's quickly go into his youth, his teens, moving up the chain of life. At little challenge in elite junior golf competitions, was able to sweep, have a trifecta, a triple crown of amateur titles in the mid '90s. Performed incredibly well at Stanford University, the institution, his college he went to, and in '96 officially became a pro with huge expectations. Right, he's dominating at the amateur level, at the youth level, and was able to impress a lot of people at a very young age. And then, bam, like we're talking about just a couple years later, he's winning the Masters easily, blowing out the field. He can just barely legally consume alcohol. Also, and it was really tsunami earthquake of like, wow, Tiger's here and he's here to stay in the golf world, um, and an international superstar almost immediately as well. So just kind of think of uh, not even like Tom Brady had something like this, and we know how wonderful Tom Brady's career was in the NFL. Mr. Woods was able to do this at times where a lot of people, yeah, like I didn't graduate college. I was still a D1 swimmer when I was 22 years old, so I wasn't even a pro. And then now it's time to settle in. It's time for his prime. Tiger, mid 20s, late 20s, early 20s, etc. It's time for Tiger. Get him out of the cage. He's going to roar and dominate for the next period of time in golf. Had all of the four major titles from 2000 to 2001. The arguably one of the more impressive and dominant uh, runs in just sports history in general. Just think about, I'm sure boxing has very similar rules, or not rules even, has similar objectives and championships, and he was able at a young age to make himself, when you sometimes in the NCAA tournament, like what we did some live stream, we kind of did coverage during the last Friday night because there were regionals in Capital One Arena in downtown DC. But sometimes in the March Madness tournament, there will be one team is so good that basically they say it's a 50% chance that they win or any of the other 60 some odd teams win. And Tiger was able to make it, all right, it's either Tiger wins or there's a like 2% chance anybody else in the field wins. And now just look at some of his victories. 82 PGA Tour wins, a huge 15 major championships as well, over 680 weeks as the top dog in the world of golf. And it really was like, I think that's why maybe even some of the more impressive golfers like Phil Mickelson, Rory McIlroy, some of those other guys, even though they're phenomenal golfers, it's still a, if you can't get close to Tiger, then there's just not the baseline there. It's going to be tough to really try and insert yourself in conversations of the greatest of all time or the greatest since 2000, etc. Because Tiger Shadow is always there. You know, when it's Sunday at Augusta, he's got that red, yeah, that Nike red shirt on, and it's go time. As I mentioned a couple slides ago, he was a international phenomenon immediately at a very young age. In terms of world, we're talking Usain Bolt, Muhammad Ali, figures such as those fellas. And something else, I'm not sure if you guys watched this movie a couple years ago, something that just kind of popped in my head is the Michael Jordan shoe movie. It's a Nike shoe movie, maybe. I can't remember what it's called. I saw it 2 to 3 years ago. And it's how Michael Jordan changed the economy of basketball shoes forever. He essentially was able to start collecting a percentage of the sale on every shoe sold. And it just goes to show how a good sponsorship can net you a lot of money. And Tiger, he is a well-off man. He's not hurting for money anytime soon. made golf more popular. Young children playing, other people learning the game for the first time. Also, just Tiger as again, an international phenomenon, somebody that people look up to in daily life. Like, hey, I love Tiger Woods. I love this man. I need to do well at work today so I can make him proud, or maybe one day I can go and spectate one of his events. Again, wanting to nail down some of the just really dive in on how much a machine. I'm sure you've seen the machine. I can't remember. It's a big white dude. He's famous, but he was like the machine in Russia. He would drink all this vodka, and he was like the machine. Well, Tiger was the machine in PGA and golf. The known for just being, once you saw him, there was kind of a lump in your throat and you would panic. You knew that Tiger was just around the corner. There's nothing you can't hide. You can't, unless if you play your best round ever, he's just going to run you over. There's nothing you can do about it. And just really was able to lock in during match days. And now, so let's go to some of the. That was the most positive part for Tiger. I wanted to start off nice and soft. Now, here's where I've seen some of Parker's comments here last couple of minutes, and here's where Tiger's image starts taking a little bit of a hit here. His personal life, his professional golf life couldn't really be much better. Besides injuries, which everyone suffers injuries, he is widely considered the GOAT, and for good reason. As we just laid out, wanted to really lay out his accomplishments, his career a little bit, but now his marriage in 2004, he it was seen as right. Yeah, the honeymoon period, everything is okay. He's still Tiger Woods, still Nike. He's still wearing the red shirt. Nothing crazy there, but he is married in 2004, and that leads to Parker's comments actually about. Let's go here. Yeah, some of the numerous extramarital affairs, some of these multiple affairs in 2009. A lot of people are like, Tiger, what's going on, man? This isn't you. I'm not very proud of you right now. The media got on him. Sponsorship deals fled left and right, and it was I remember this as a small boy. As a young boy, I remember hearing about this. And just not a very great, not a pleasant look for the golfer at all. So this is, I wouldn't say the beginning of the end, but definitely a sad and unfortunate event for Mr. Woods. And also, let's read some of, with reports suggesting to over around a dozen women, including cocktail waitresses, porn stars, club promoters, etc. So just women, maybe not the, especially once you're married, maybe women you definitely, absolutely should not be hanging around with. Media, it's a hammer. Media, he's hammered. He doesn't really know what to do. He becomes a hermit. He's sheltered. There's a lot of public speculation. Everyone's like, wow, Tiger, what is going on, buddy? Everyone knew about, even me, when I was like 9 or 10. Everyone knew about this affair he had with this, or all these affairs, excuse me, and he wasn't able to hide it anymore. He lost control of it. It grew out of his hands. Opened up a can of worms. Nothing that could be done to lid the coverage. And he just kind of had to suffer through it for still up to today. I'm sure some people are still disappointed and upset with Mr. Woods, but it does coordinate with the divorce in 2010. Um, the scandal was the beginning of the end for the marriage. It totally collapsed. There was regime change in both of their marital statuses. A lot of people knew about it. Once again, almost like a couple years ago, I'm sure you remember the Tom Brady, when Tom Brady split with Giselle, I believe is how you pronounce her name. Even that wasn't, even that got a lot of attention, but they were able to control it still. You kind of see the difference. And cash, right? As I mentioned, Tiger, he's made a lot of money up to this point. He's at no hurting for cash. And now another painful and negative event for Tiger is he's aging now. He's not the you're not just going to be able, and I've kind of realized this myself the last couple of years, you're not going to be a 19, 20-year-old D1 athlete forever. Your body is going to catch up with you. Father Time will catch up a little bit. If you even have a 6 month period of time where if you're not stretching every day, if you're not exercising a couple times a week, if you're eating McDonald's every day, your body will begin to collapse a little bit. And not even that he did all of these things, it's just playing sports, you suffer through injuries. Every athlete, I'm sure, has been injured at some point or the other. And particularly in the knee and the back for Tiger, had to get a lot of surgeries. And that's probably where we see a lot of these painkillers introduced to Mr. Woods. The performance sputtered. It was not as consistent. Even though he still was able to find success in some aspects, he still, whether it was pain or age, was just not able to hang on forever. And whether he'd be able to hang around for the next several years was in doubt for the first time ever in his career. It was a really, I'm sure you remember, anytime it got to the point where he'd swing and maybe the back would just have such a sharp pain, he'd fall over or run away. And here's where we really get sorry, Tiger. We're going to rock bottom, buddy. In 2017, he's arrested, and I believe Parker mentioned this. Yeah, the 2017 arrest. He was found asleep in his vehicle behind the wheel of his car with the engine still running in Jupiter, Florida. A lot of a toxicology report, which is exactly why he didn't submit a blood sample or a urine test this time around. He knew what was going to happen again, and the report found a mix of prescription painkillers, Ambien, Xanax. Later pleaded guilty to reckless driving and completed a diversion program. But also, again, it's like, hey, Tiger, if you can't get this shit under control, buddy, you're not going to make it much longer in the PGA. Sorry. Like, if he was 20, like in his early 20s in 2000, now he's pushing 40 at this point in the late 2010s. He's nearing 40 years old. That's hard. Even in 10 years, I won't be. Well, I guess I'll be 36 in 10 years, so I'll be kind of pushing 40 a little bit. We don't like to think about that. However, again, it questioned like how much longer is Tiger going to be legit? How much of a threat can he be on the green anymore? And then boom, once again in 2021, He almost lost his leg. He almost had to have his leg amputated because of this accident. He, in Los Angeles, rolled over several times, going, I think, in the mid 80s in like a 45. He was going way too fast, lost total control, and flipped over a whole bunch, and almost lost his leg. It was a 50-50 shot if he'd even, have his leg amputated. Broke his fibula, other important bones within the leg. So again, pretty scary for Tiger. Woods was involved in a single vehicle rollover crash, driving at speeds of nearly 90 miles per hour in a 45 mile per hour zone. And then Parker even brought up, I didn't even have a side on this, but the 2009 Thanksgiving accident. He crashed his SUV into a fire hydrant, and a tree outside of his Florida residence. And it kind of was the beginning of the end for the sex scandal and all of that stuff as well. And Colonel asks, do you think Tiger will play in the senior PGA? I think the question is uncertain. Now, the amount of viewership and money he brings in, they'll encourage him to play. But this crash probably got him to a point to where it's almost like an elderly person in your family that you need to take the keys away, or they can't live at home anymore by themselves, maybe, or something of that nature. It doesn't have to be the same in this situation, but eventually when you have an elderly person in the family and you just have to say, sorry, you're going to live with us now, or you're going to change this habit, or we're selling your house and you're going to move in with us or the nursing home. Kind of same with Tiger. There's going to have to be some kind of new rules for him. I think he's going to have to meet some concessions, I believe, for the PGA to be comfortable, maybe with having him out there. That's my initial thought, though. Now let's do a little more positive for Tiger, right? In 2019, I remember it myself. I remember watching it live. Tiger won the 2019 Masters after an 11-year drought, major drought even. And one of the more surreal sporting events I've ever watched in my entire life. Arguably, in terms of the career, given the infidelity and the multiple car crashes, and all of his other who knows how bad hooked on painkillers he is. Maybe he's hiding it a little better. But it really showed that Tiger could do it. I remember, I don't even watch golf in particular all that much, but seeing him win, I was like screaming at the top of my lungs, like, Tiger, like, let's go. Like, it was such a cool moment to witness that he was able to achieve such an accomplishment like that. And it really cemented his legacy. If anyone had any questions before, it was solved on that April day in 2019, winning at Augusta. I believe not tomorrow, but I believe the Thursday after tomorrow is when the tournament begins. And I think Tiger was even supposed to play in it this year, I think. We'll talk about that more in a second. So here's the 2026 incident that we just saw last week. And we have this, I believe it's a little after 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And they haven't released his speed yet, but it seems to be he was at a high speed that was, can't say a number, and I don't want to speculate, but definitely probably dozens of miles over the speed limit. And if you go to Google Maps, and I'll share the screen here in a minute. I was able to find his address and the street he lives on. And if you look at the Google Maps of it, that's an area specifically designed to not drive fast on. It's a 2-lane road. It's large. It's properties on each side. Definitely retirement, not retirement homes, but where people, they're there for, maybe they go there. It's their second or third home. They're going there for the weekend to relax on the beach, or you know what I mean. Maybe they rent it out during the week. Who knows? But it's not an area where you're really going very fast. It's designed for all the old farts to be able to ride their golf carts on the road with ease and with with minimal fear of safety. So we'll look into the address itself here in a sec, but and we also see, I believe the police announced they found 2 pills in his pockets. I'm not sure if you guys caught that. No alcohol reported, which is probably why he submitted to the breathalyzer, but did not submit to the urine or the blood examinations. He was arrested, and if you look at the images of him, a very sad looking, disheveled man. Especially the one, if he's wearing the blue shirt, it looks like it's nighttime and he's leaving the station. Looks like he'd be a very sad man in that image. A husk of what he truly is in real life. And announced recently that he was going to be pausing his golf career to try and get treatment or something. So hopefully he's fine. Hopefully he's damn lucky to not have died or have to killed anybody at this rate. To have that many accidents, that's pretty insane. Kind of starting to wrap things up a little bit. Legacy made people talk about golf. Tiger, arguably the GOAT in golf. In terms of athletes, we're talking Tom Brady, Serena Williams, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan type-esque kind of player, if you kind of catch my drift a little bit. And he's known for, this slide deck was basically 2 mini episodes. You had the professional career where he was phenomenal and won the Masters a whole bunch. And then you have the second half of the slide deck to where he's hooking up with a bunch of women and porn stars and driving high on painkillers and crashing and flipping his car. There's kind of 2 sides of Tiger. And man, the cost of greatness. We saw Elvis Presley. He kind of buckled under this. We've seen other famous people. Justin Timberlake a couple weeks ago. I believe most of those charges were dropped, but he wasn't he drunk driving or allegedly drunk driving or whatever? Like, he got in trouble for something. And resilience, excuse me. And yeah, just public figures sometimes suffer through a lot of this stuff. It's tough being famous, right? Up to a point. Not the money, I'm sure, is fine, but needing to perform every time you go to the supermarket or out to eat, everyone is like, hey, can I take a picture with you? What's your autograph? Whatever. And that's the last guy here. So we're going to, hopefully you guys learned something about Mr. Woods here. Let's check the time. All right, so it's just a little past 9. So that puts us actually at about perfect timing for the president's speech supposed to be at 9 o'clock. It's usually a little later. We'll get to some of the, so here, let's go to, here, let's share the screen with Twitter. and we'll see if we can get the speech on because he's supposed to be giving an address to the nation at 9 about the situation in Iran. So we'll see what he has to say about that. Yeah, president's on. So okay. So we're going to pull up the president right now. Once it loads, and we'll check in on what POTUS is saying. Let's go to share screen. All right, awesome. Got a couple of other comments. Parker says most people don't know when to say enough is enough. Z, hey Z, what's going on, man? As going to stream the speech. That's the plan. Once we get this guy going.
241 Americans in the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut, the slaughter of hundreds of our service members with roadside
bombs. Can you guys
bombs.
hear him okay?
They were involved in the attack on the USS Cole, and they carried out the countless other heinous acts, including the just horrible, bloody atrocities of October 7th in Israel, something that most people have never seen anything like it. This murderous regime also recently killed 45,000 of their own people who were protesting in Iran. 45,000 dead. For these terrorists to have nuclear weapons would be an intolerable threat. The most violent and thuggish regime on earth would be free to carry out their campaigns of terror, coercion, conquest, and mass murder from behind a nuclear shield. I will never let that happen, and neither should any of our past presidents. This situation has been going on for 47 years and should have been handled long before I arrived in office. I did many things during my 2 terms in office to stop the quest for nuclear weapons by Iran first, and perhaps most importantly, I killed General Qasem Soleimani in my first term. He was an evil genius, brilliant person, a horrible human being, however, the father of the roadside bomb, and he lived just horrible what he did. Iran would have been perhaps in far better, stronger position. Had he lived, we would have had probably a different conversation tonight. But you know what? We'd still be winning and winning big. And then, very importantly, I terminated Barack Hussein Obama's Iran nuclear deal, a disaster. Obama gave them $1.7 billion in cash, green cash. Took it out of banks from Virginia, D.C., and Maryland, all the cash they had. He flew it by airplanes in an attempt to buy their respect and loyalty, but it didn't work. They laughed at our president and went on with their mission to have a nuclear bomb. His Iran deal would have led to a colossal arsenal of massive nuclear weapons for Iran, and they would have had them years ago, and they would have used them. It would have been a different world. There would have been no Middle East and no Israel right now, in my opinion, the opinion of a lot of great experts, had I not terminated that terrible deal. And I was so honored to do it. I was so proud to do it. It was so bad right from the beginning. Essentially, I did what no other president was willing to do. They made mistakes, and I am correcting them. My first preference was always the path of diplomacy, yet the regime continued their relentless quest for nuclear weapons and rejected every attempt at an agreement. For this reason, in June, I ordered a strike on Iran's key nuclear facilities, an Operation Midnight Hammer. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Those beautiful B-2 bombers performed magnificently. We totally obliterated those nuclear sites. The regime then sought to rebuild their nuclear program at a totally different location, making clear they had no intention of abandoning their pursuit of nuclear weapons. They were also rapidly building a vast stockpile of conventional ballistic missiles and would soon have had missiles that could reach the American homeland, Europe, and virtually any other place on Earth. Iran's strategy was so obvious. They wanted to produce as many missiles as possible, and they did, with the longest range possible, and they had some weapons that nobody believed they had. We just learned that out. We took them out. We took them all out so that no one would really dare stop them. And their race for a nuclear bomb, a nuclear weapon like nobody's ever seen before. They were right at the doorstep. For years, everyone has said that Iran cannot have nuclear weapons, but in the end, those are just words if you're not willing to take action when the time comes. As I stated in my announcement of Operation Epic Fury, our objectives are very simple and clear. We are systematically dismantling the regime's ability to threaten America or project power outside of their borders. That means eliminating Iran's Navy, which is now absolutely destroyed, hurting their Air Force and their missile program at levels never seen before, and annihilating their defense industrial base. We've done all of it. Their Navy is gone. Their Air Force is gone. Their missiles are just about used up or beaten. Taken together, these actions will cripple Iran military, crush their ability to support terrorist proxies, and deny them the ability to build a nuclear bomb. Our armed forces have been extraordinary. There's never been anything like it militarily. Everyone is talking about it, and tonight I'm pleased to say that these core strategic objectives are nearing completion. Ooh. As we celebrate this progress, we think especially of the 13 American warriors who have laid down their lives in this fight to prevent our children from ever having to face a nuclear Iran. Twice this past month, I've traveled to Dover Air Force Base, and it's been something. I wanted to be with those heroes as they return to American soil, and I was with them and their families, their parents, their wives, their husbands. We salute them, and now we must honor them by completing the mission for which they gave their lives. And every single one of the people, their loved ones said, "Please, sir, please finish the job," every one of them. And we are going to finish the job, and we're going to finish it very fast. We're getting very close. I want to thank our allies in the Middle East, Israel, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the UAE, Kuwait, and Bahrain. They've been great, and we will not let them get hurt or fail in any way, shape, or form. Many Americans have been concerned to see the recent rise in gasoline prices here at home. This short-term increase has been entirely the result of the Iranian regime launching deranged terror attacks against commercial oil tankers in neighboring countries that have nothing to do with the conflict. This is yet more proof that Iran can never be trusted with nuclear weapons. They will use them, and they will use them quickly. It would lead to decades of extortion, economic pain, and instability worse than we can ever imagine. The United States has never been better prepared economically to confront this threat. You all know that. We built the strongest economy in history. We're going through it right now, the strongest in history. In 1 year, we've taken a dead and crippled country. I hate to say that, but we were a dead and crippled country after the last administration and made it the hottest country anywhere in the world by far, with no inflation, record-setting investments coming into the United States, over $18 trillion, and the highest stock market ever, with 53 all-time record highs in just 1 year. It all positioned us to get rid of a cancer that has long simmered. It's known as the nuclear Iran, and they didn't know what was coming. They've never imagined it. Remember, because of our Drill Baby Drill program, America has plenty of gas. We have so much gas. Under my leadership, we are #1 producer of oil and gas on the planet, without even discussing the millions of barrels that we're getting from Venezuela. Because of the Trump administration's policies, we produce more oil and gas than Saudi Arabia and Russia combined. Think of that, Saudi Arabia and Russia combined. And that number will soon be substantially higher than that. There's no country like us anywhere in the world, and we're in great shape for the future. The United States imports almost no oil through the Hormuz Strait and won't be taking any in the future. We don't need it. We haven't needed it, and we don't need it. We've beaten and completely decimated Iran. They are decimated, both militarily and economically and in every other way. And the countries of the world that do receive oil through the Hormuz Strait must take care of that passage. They must cherish it. They must grab it and cherish it. They can do it easily. We will be helpful, but they should take the lead in protecting the oil that they so desperately depend on. So to those countries that can't get fuel, many of which refuse to get involved in the decapitation of Iran, we had to do it ourselves. I have a suggestion. Number one, buy oil from the United States of America. We have plenty. We have so much. And number two, build up some delayed courage. Should have done it before, should have done it with us, as we asked. Go to the Strait and just take it, protect it, use it for yourselves. Iran has been essentially decimated. The hard part is done, so it should be easy. And in any event, when this conflict is over, the Strait will open up naturally. It'll just open up naturally. They're going to want to be able to sell oil because that's all they have to try and rebuild. It will resume the flowing, and the gas prices will rapidly come back down. Stock prices will rapidly go back up. They haven't come down very much, frankly. They came down a little bit, but they've had some very good days over the last couple of days. We've done actually much better than I thought, but we had to take that little journey to Iran to get rid of this horrible threat. With our historic tax cuts, where people are just now talking about receiving larger refunds than they ever thought possible, they are getting so much more money than they thought. That's from the great, big, beautiful bill. Our economy is strong and improving by the day, and it will soon be roaring back like never before. It will top the levels that it was a month ago. I've made clear from the beginning of Operation Epic Fury that we will continue until our objectives are fully achieved. Thanks to the progress we've made, I can say tonight that we are on track to complete all of America's military objectives shortly, very shortly. We're going to hit them extremely hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to bring them back to the Stone Ages where they belong. In the meantime, discussions are ongoing. Regime change was not our goal. We never said regime change, but regime change
That's a lie.
has occurred because of all of their original leaders' death. They're all dead.
So he's already.
The new group is less radical and much more reasonable.
Moving the goalposts.
Yet if during this
on the
period of
objective
time
a
no
little
deal
bit.
is made, we have our eyes on key targets. If there is no deal, we are going to hit each and every one of their electric generating plants very hard and probably simultaneously. We have not hit their oil, even though that's the easiest target of all, because it would not give them even a small chance of survival or rebuilding. But we could hit it, and it would be gone, and there's not a thing they could do about it. They have no anti-aircraft equipment. Their radar is 100% annihilated. We are unstoppable as a military force. The nuclear sites that we obliterated with the B-2 bombers have been hit so hard that it would take months to get near the nuclear dust, and we have it under intense satellite surveillance and control. If we see them make a move, even a move for it, we'll hit them with missiles very hard again. We have all the cards, they have none. It's very important that we keep this conflict in perspective. American involvement in World War I lasted 1 year, 7 months, and 5 days. World War II lasted for 3 years, 8 months, and 25 days. The Korean War lasted for 3 years, 1 month, and 2 days. The Vietnam War lasted for 19 years, 5 months, and 29 days. Iraq went on for 8 years, 8 months, and 28 days. We are in this military operation, so powerful, so brilliant, against one of the most powerful countries for 32 days. And the country has been eviscerated and essentially is really no longer a threat. They were the bully of the Middle East, but they're the bully no longer. This is a true investment in your children and your grandchildren's future. The whole world is watching, and they can't leave the power, strength, and brilliance. They just can't believe what they're seeing. They leave it to your imagination, but they can't believe what they're seeing, the brilliance of the United States military. Tonight, every American can look forward to a day when we are finally free from the wickedness of Iranian aggression and the specter of nuclear blackmail. Because of the actions we have taken, we are on the cusp of ending Iran's sinister threat to America and the world. And I'll tell you, the world is watching. And when we do, when it's all over, the United States will be safer, stronger, more prosperous, and greater than it has ever been before. May God bless the men and women of the United States Armed Forces, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much, and good night.
Good night, Mr. President. Okay, so a couple of big things there that stood out to me immediately. Here, let's go back to full screen. So I think, yeah, you guys in the comment section were able to kind of fish out what he was saying is that he lied about he has changed the goalpost on the desired outcomes of the operation. That the first night it was urging the Iranian people to overtake the government, to overtake key institutions and government buildings. And now there has been a regime change because we've killed Ali Khamenei, other Revolutionary Guard personnel. So that's good enough. However, we won, and they're no longer a threat, but we need to stay there 2 to 3 more weeks. Starting to sound a little bit kind of like COVID a little bit. It was 2 weeks to slow the spread. Then it was 2 months, and then it was graduations get canceled. However, I don't want to be a doomer. Don't want to be a black pillar. I'll just kind of leave at that. But there was some other interesting stuff as well. To Z's point, the not a self-congratulatory, because I think he understands some of the political pressure he's under right now as well when it comes to this. So it definitely wasn't. I wouldn't say it was a traditional Trumpian speech, but definitely still laid out what he thought some success, particularly with the assassination of the architect of the proxy network, Qasem Soleimani. Praising himself for doing that during the first term. Also pointed out that Iran's Navy, Air Force, etc. is pretty much gone, but did not say their ability to churn out ballistic missiles and drones was destroyed yet. So maybe that's what they're going for ultimately at the end of the day here. And then Parker's to point, like, yeah, we just sent another aircraft carrier that way, and the 82nd Airborne as well. Still seems like maybe Carg Island is still at play. Maybe tonight was just trying to play mind games with the Iranians. And I saw earlier today that Pezeskian, the president of Iran, one of the key remaining regime figures in Iranian society, said he would release a letter. Let's see if we can find that. Now, again, it's certainly probably just propaganda as well. But let's see if we can find it, though. Times article has everything down, but it's not like the letter itself. Here, let's see if we can share the screen. I think my upstairs neighbor is making popcorn. I hear a bunch of little. Yeah, I hear a bunch of little pops, little, little clanks. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Let's go to share screen again. We'll kind of read through the Perseskian letter. Just take a quick little look at that, and then we will go to where Tiger Woods lives, and I'll show you the like the actual address of where he is. Yeah, yeah. My upstairs neighbors, they're actually um, they're the remnants of the Iranian regime. They're just living right above me, making they're trying to get the bomb for the regime. Okay, let's go back to this guy. Awesome. Okay. Alrighty. So Iranian President Perseskian has penned an open letter. This is from the Times, by the way, by Chantel Lee at 6 o'clock this evening. Appeal to them to look beyond the machinery of misinformation. Portraying Iran as a threat is neither consistent with historical reality nor with present day observable facts. Um, oh shit. Okay, so here, let's just go with this then. Let's just go to his personal Twitter. Uh, but yeah, what do you guys think about the president's address he just mentioned? Or did you guys have any major takeaways or um, anything that really stood out? Except Z had a good point about the drone production facilities. Uh, One of the oldest continuous civilizations in human history. Despite its historical and geographical advantages at various times, Iran has never, in its modern history, chosen the path of aggression, expansion, or colonialism, or even domination. Uh, for this reason, portraying Iran as a threat is neither consistent. Yeah, you're definitely right, Z. I've seen way too many dashes, man. Yeah, a lot of uh, yeah, they definitely ran this through ChatGPT through the English version of their ChatGPT and flushed this out. Let's go to the next page. Just kind of let you guys read it for a moment. Within the same framework, the United States has concentrated the largest number of its forces, bases, and military capabilities around Iran, a country that, at least since its founding of the United States, has never initiated a war. Recent American aggressions launched from these very bases have demonstrated how threatening such a military presence truly is. Naturally, no country confronted with such conditions would forego strengthening its defensive capabilities. What Iran has done and continues to do is a measured response and legitimate self-defense, and by no means an initiation of war or aggression. Yeah, there's some other like there's also those dashes, but like the text size changes as well. And um, right here, I don't know why there's a period right in front of right before the word war as well. Yeah, it talks about Operation Ajax. Um, and let's go to the third page. Yeah, you can tell like it's definitely they probably tried to do what they could in terms of English, but like the percentage sign was misplaced. Um, yeah, talking about the Iran nuclear deal. Uh, it is not also the case that America has entered this aggression as a proxy for Israel, influenced and manipulated by that regime. It is it not true that Israel, by manufacturing an Iranian threat, seeks to divert global attention away from its crimes towards the Palestinians? Is it not evident that Israel now aims to fight Iran to the last American soldier and the last American taxpayer dollar, shifting the burden of its delusions onto Iran and the United States itself in pursuit of illegitimate interest? Is America first truly among the priorities of the U.S. government today? I invite you to look beyond the machinery of misinformation and part of this aggression and instead speak with those who have visited Iran. Observe the many accomplished Iranian immigrants educated in Iran who now teach and conduct research at the world's most prestigious universities or contribute to the most advanced technology firms in the West. Do these realities align with the distortions you are being told about Iran and its people? Today, the world stands at crossroads. Continuing along the path of confrontation is more costly and futile than ever before. The choice between confrontation and engagement is both real and consequential. Its outcome will shape the future for generations to come. Throughout its millennia of proud history, Iran has outlasted many aggressors. All that remains of them are tarnished names in history, while Iran endures resilient, dignified, and proud. All right, so that's the president of Iran, Pezeshkian, pleading. Uh, this was dropped a couple of hours before the president of the United States, Donald John Trump, released his live remarks to the people. And then, okay, so let's also go to. Let's see if we can pull up where Tiger Woods lives too. That would be really cool. Okay. So here's his house. Oop, yikes. So here, let's go up a little bit. So you can, here, let's zoom out. Okay, so here's the state of Florida for you. Now let's go low north of West Palm Beach, Jupiter, low south of Palm City. And you can kind of see it is Jupiter Island for a reason. It's not the mainland. And you can just kind of see there's like a yacht club, there's other small stores, other properties, but it's a 2-lane road, not particularly big. And yeah, just really goes to show with how uh, here's where he was driving allegedly or supposedly several miles over the speed limit, resulting in him toppling his car, the car flipping over several times. So that's just a little graphic for you to see where Mr. Woods actually lives. Yep, yeah, 281 South Beach Road. You got it, Parker. And yeah, it's just a two lane. It's just a little where you drive your golf cart on that road. Barely anyone lives there, so just kind of goes see how like crazy and how quick he was actually moving on the road. So let's go back to full screen. Um, all right, awesome. So yeah, anyone have any questions? Anyone just I'm down to hang out for a couple extra minutes. We can chat. Just a reminder, please join the Discord. So Z has taken on a lot, been a big help to the channel and our community. Really, very thankful for his time and efforts. And he, it's not only our moderator, but he also helped with the Discord as well. He pretty much created all of it. Took the liberty and the time to do that. Very, very big help. And it's a way for us, and instead of just want to go live, um, it is, excuse me, yeah, it's a way for we can share breaking news. I can let you guys know if I'm running late ever for a stream, or let you guys know my streaming schedule a little bit more consistently. It's just a way for us to get a little closer as a community and really build the mass awakening that will put America first, that we all desire on this channel. We all do have a shared interest to put America first ultimately at the end of the day. And I feel like the Discord will help, um, or will assist us in that. Jesus, you should show it, posted it in the Discord. Uh, and yes, Tiger wrecked last week. He was going. They haven't released the speed limit he was going, but they found pills in his pockets. He refused a blood test, a urine sample. And if you look at the mugshot, just after this, Google mugshot. He looks terrible. He looks like a husk of what he used to be. Um, Very sad. It's very upsetting to see him looking like this. Okay, so here, let's see if I can get the Discord pulled up and share the screen. Just kind of show you guys what we're talking about a little bit. Um, then, oh wait, Z, did Kamala seriously just give a drunk address? No way, bro. Let's go to the. I'm not sure if I'm logged in on the Discord here. See, I'm already in, so I don't want to join it again on this because I don't have the Discord set up on my computer. I don't know how else I could share the screen though with it on. Um, well, actually, yeah. Here, I'll just share this though. I think I just thought of a way to do it. Okay, so you can find the Discord right here. So if you go to the hit more, and then it'll give you all of the links for the channel. So we're on X, Facebook, Instagram, Rumble, Spotify, Twitch, and Discord now. So please join on. Wait, send it to you on Twitter. Oh, perfect. Duh. But yeah, that's the way you can easily find it. But I will. Let's see if I can check it out on Twitter though. what the? Your password is required to recover your encryption keys so we can decrypt your previous messages. What's that even mean? I don't even ever remember needing to. Shit, man. All right, I don't want to get locked out of the account. Gosh, I don't know why it won't let me pull up messages on my computer. That's ridiculous. Oh well, okay. Um, well, we'll figure that out here soon. Um, but however, okay, so yeah, please join the Discord if you yeah, we're trying to populate that right now as well. Should be good community building for the channel. Um, and we share funny memes like the Kamala Harris drunk speech um, as well. We know that she is always um, popping champagne, popping bottles as well. So yeah, that's all I got for tonight. But definitely happy to just hang out with you guys, get to know you a little better, take your questions. Pretty good convo about AI going on right now as well. So we will, we're just gonna hang out here. And also, everybody, we did eclipse 700 subscribers earlier today. So that is a worthy of a celebration. So thank you all for being here and supporting the channel so early on. I choose random numbers to celebrate. If you guys probably realized, we've done 300 and 700 right now. I don't want to be a we are like, yeah, I want this to be one of the most unique channels, and even you guys have already shown that just by being here tonight and so many other times that it's something that you're willing to put some time towards, and that you continuously come back and listen to my political commentary and hear my opinions and watch my videos. It's just like truly an honor that yeah, everyday Americans or everyday people even will continually come back and watch me. So I'm very honored and very super thankful for you guys, for real. So thank you so much. Yeah, we're going 700. Next up, 700,000. uh, Humanity's purpose is far greater than slaving away at a job. Think bigger. A guy cured his dog cancer in 2 weeks by utilizing AI protein folding. Doom about it if you want, but AI isn't your enemy. Parker says, we solved cancer decades ago before AI. Then what is the cure? You have a lot of steps first before AI is a panica. And Fred says, congrats, Alden. Good evening. Good evening, Fred. Thank you for joining the stream this evening. Thank you for hanging out with us and learning a little bit about Tiger Woods. And we also did some live coverage from the President of the United States. A little update on Iran. There was some notable things in there, but I think some people were maybe expecting a de-escalation of the conflict or an escalation even, and it seemed we didn't really get either. You could argue an escalation in the sense that it wasn't a de-escalation, but we're still, yeah. Today's day 33. That's why every morning stream, or at least once a day, the stream title is Iran War Day X. We'll keep doing this until we get somewhere with it. So, Z says you don't understand the decentralization of information, and that's okay. You'll get it eventually. Why would they tell us they can't profit off us being healthy? Big Pharma wants you to be ill. Yeah, so actually, so guys, when I worked in the Senate for my Senator Mike Braun, the guy right behind me, I was his healthcare legislative correspondent and legislative aide, and during my time in the Senate, I'd work on bills and help write bills for healthcare. We'd also do like co-sponsor recommendations for health-related bills, and really interesting. AI, it wasn't as big even just a couple years ago, I'd say, with some of the bills that might be out now. Um, but to Nurse Rod's point about big pharma wanting you ill is the pharmacy benefit managers. They want to jack up the middlemen. They want to jack up your prices. They want to make sure you pay more. Um, Medicare, that's all screwed up. Um, oop, sorry, my messages just started going through. I thought my sleep went off. Sorry about that. But yeah, there's just a lot of interesting things in the healthcare space um, that I don't think a lot of people understand. So definitely, healthcare is one of those issue areas in the Congress that they can never really get anything done on. So that was my portfolio there in the Senate. Healthcare should never be a for-profit business. Yeah, because because you see all these, I don't know, hear all these horror stories of boarding at hospitals, right? Um, that like whether it's people without insurance or illegal immigrants or anyone else. Um, I remember I went to the hospital a couple years ago, and I had to wait like 14 hours just to like get a bed, and it wasn't even a room. It was one of those movable beds, and it was just like next to the wall in the hallway, and had to wait like over a half of a day for that. So there's definitely a lot of problems going on with the healthcare industry in the United States. Listen to yourself. Are you seriously arguing that information should be less accessible? Yeah, I did mention this at the beginning of the stream that his strongest issue area is probably AI or big tech or low tech. Um, so um, he's going to be able to tell us what's up when it comes to that issue area, which is why everyone needs to get in the Discord because he's pretty good at like up to the minute updates about important information when it comes to AI and some of those big contracts surrounding AI. And yeah, man, it was a big black pill moment. And man, you got and the bigger black pill is receiving the bill after. It's such little care, and I spent the next like year and a half paying that bill monthly, and it wasn't even coverage. Like they didn't even know what was wrong with me, so um, they barely ran any examinations or tests too. So pretty, yeah, going to the hospital is a black pilling experience in America, I would say. You know, definitely there. Parker says, I don't go to the doctor. Z says that's true. I mainly focus on AI and technology, definitely. And Nurse Rod says, I've been a nurse for 30 years, and I have so many horror stories about it. What's probably the worst, what's the worst, like, maybe day at work ever for you, Nurse Rod? Or, like, maybe there's a patient or patients or something that, like, a good party story. And then Bob Cox says, Nurse, I'm pretty sure Big Pharma is complicit in fueling the far left. What's going on, Bob Cox? Nice to see you again, man. Thanks for hanging out with us this morning at the Supreme Court stream this morning. And Z says, I'm not mad, Parker. Sorry if I came across that way. I just get tired of AI bad being consensus opinion. Absolutely, dog. Yeah. But yeah, I had a really good turnout tonight. We're just, yeah, I'll definitely get, excuse me, I'll definitely get little clips out. I'll get shorts out as well from this episode. We'll get them uploaded on YouTube here in the next day or so. Oh, goodness. Got the hiccups all of a sudden. Darn. But we will also be, we'll live stream again in the morning. And once the video uploads, so I've realized that it's tough for me to get clips out the same day of the vertical live streams I do, is because it takes like YouTube 16 hours to officially upload the video, make sure there's no like copyright or anything like that when it's a live stream. And it just takes a little bit to get like clips out from those, usually a day. But this one I should be able to have them out by midday tomorrow or something. So definitely happy to share that. I agree, Bob. Big Pharma benefits mainly from hormone treatment and reassignment surgery. I think it can be used for good, but I don't know if it will be used for good. If I need treatment, I'll let God choose my road. AI is helpful, but I think some people depend on it too much. And Nurse Rod says, I found a dead man standing behind his wheelchair with his head as big as a pumpkin. His head was sitting in the wheelchair. Whoa. Holy. So, like, I found a dead man standing behind his wheelchair with his head as big as a pumpkin. Wow. That's insane. Holy shit, man. Yeah, that's a horror story for sure. And Z says, it's just technology. It's neither good nor evil, just tech. Yeah, back to your story, Nurse. That's definitely some. Yeah, obviously you were able to remember and describe it in great detail there, but definitely a scary moment for sure. Did you see my earlier one about the toes? It could have been filtered by YouTube. So even one of my comments earlier tonight got, it said YouTube rejected your comment. This usually means they think it's spam. Try changing it a bit. So I don't see your toes one. Bob Cox says multiple states are already using AI to tell doctors what to prescribe and what not to. Yeah, that's crazy. And he must have had the everlasting gobdropper. A few comments got filtered from me as well. Yeah, and I swear I have it on the least restrictive setting. Whoa, two toes fell off in my hand. Holy shit. That's pretty insane right there. Yikes. Man, I just can't imagine my like a toe or a finger just falling off my body. That's pretty insane. Yikes, man. Yeah. Way to go, that been nurse for 30 years. You've hung in there. I'm sure you've done a lot of good in your life. Parker says they don't want us talking on here. They suppress the First Amendment. I was changing her dressing. She had gangrene. Never heard of that before. I'm not going to Google image it while we're on the stream though. Captain, what's going on, Captain? Wonderful to see you, man. Future doctors are going to be scary. LOL. Bob Cox is dealing with my 90-year-old great aunt in a home. $10,000 a month. Holy cow. That's a lot of money. I recommend anyone who is afraid of AI to go see the AI doc. It just came out in theaters Friday. One of my friends is in it. Ooh, Z's a big knows a lot of Hollywood superstars. There we go, Z. Bob Cox says some places are nasty. I'm sure, mate. Yeah, yeah, I'm sure gross, and the treatment, the care is insufficient, bedridden, and blind. So Parker just made a good point about how YouTube will filter some of the comments and how YouTube will suppress the First Amendment. That's another good reason for you to join the Discord whenever you can. That way, at least from my knowledge, is that it doesn't filter anything First Amendment wise or anything at all. That's a way that we can shoot the baloney pretty much 24/7. And not have to just rely on when we stream to communicate. And it's also a way that like we can start forming a true like coalition, right? Think of it like think of this as almost like a presidential campaign a little bit. You guys are like, since you guys are early on the channel, you guys are like the top advisors pretty much. I get around. YouTube is owned by Google, and Google is evil and hates free speech. That's true. Yeah. All the social media does that anymore, don't they? Up to a point, yes, absolutely. And Discord is a federal honeypot, but at least we won't get censored. Nice one, Bob. See, it's odd because like messages like that will make it through, and then like the next message talking about um like missile defense capabilities for Iran will not make it. It's the weirdest thing. Test my um, missiles are good. Saying stuff like I support the Iran operation has gotten me filtered a lot. The AI speech police are lame. Just misspell it and it goes through. I see. Nice. That one made it through. You're going to summon the poop people. And Nurse Rod says, Alden, I'm from Indiana. Awesome, awesome. There's a couple other people on the channel from Indiana as well. There seems to be a couple of people from Indiana that are pretty active on the channel. Yeah, we love our Hoosiers. Test illegal alien. I don't know. And then Captain says test. I support Iran. They will win. Open parenthesis. Of course not. Close parenthesis. um. So yeah, it seems like, and honestly, the community we're building, like with the people like you guys that will come back multiple times a week, if not daily, even is and even the coalition as a broad sense is that we're probably uh, 80%, 90% from the United States. There's some international viewership, especially sometimes in the mornings as well. Like the mornings will draw a lot of international viewers sometimes. Um, but like the evening view, like everyone seems to be from the States here, or at least from North America. Um, I'd say the breakdown of the channel is probably 80% right wingers, 20% left wingers, which is, I think, a good balance because at least the left wingers that are here in the chat, they're like, we're able to have dialogue that also helps like push the feed and the live streams for the channel into new audiences as well. So I think that's good that we have a um, somewhat of a slightly divided, respectful uh, divide there. I'm not sure about the age yet. That's a little early to tell. I'd say probably, since I'm a little younger, probably most of the people are a little younger themselves, but um, that's fine. And um, I'd say that those are probably two of the bigger observations so far. So we're definitely getting a solid base of um, our community so far. Let's see. Hmm. Yeah, and someone mentioned that this morning because 2 days ago, I think we were walking by the Supreme Court and there was a circumcision, an anti-circumcision. It wasn't a rally, I'd say. It was a handful of people that were standing outside of the Supreme Court discussing, or they were passing out flyers, passing out information pamphlets about their opposition to circumcision. Um, so that was actually kind of discussed a couple mornings ago, actually. So I think yeah, that's starting to get some attention a little bit here in DC. Um, I never seen anything disappear on this channel. That's good. That's good. Trump says we are going to strike Iran even harder in 2-3 weeks. What is he cooking? I think some of it. Yeah, the president tonight kind of said they're not a threat anymore, but we're going to be there another couple of weeks. Um, we'll also um, we destroyed all their we destroyed their nuclear program, but we can't leave yet. It was a little bit of back and forth mixed messaging, a little bit. Probably just a reassurance, I think, a little bit too. And yeah, I think that this this Jewish rabbi tradition that Parker is mentioning, um, I have seen slash heard about this as well, and it's pretty. Yeah, I second Jenny's um, comment there, an off very gross. Yeah, very gross reaction. Yeah, not good, not good, not good at all. Travusa is another interesting tradition. I think it's why they tend to have higher verbal IQ and do well in law. Why are people not enraged with what's happening in the world? Yeah, man, that's a good question. Um, hopefully that changes soon. Yeah, it's definitely not good. But hey, everybody, if you're just now on the stream, would love please leave the video a like. We're having a fun little chat here. We're talking about the Iran war. We're talking about Jewish rabbi traditions, uh, and some other YouTube being um, YouTube kind of being weak and a sissy when it comes to filtering some of the chats. Also talked about how the channel, we reached above 700 subscribers earlier today, so that's a big milestone for our channel. Talked about AI a little bit as well. Talked about the president's speech to the nation he addressed just a couple of minutes ago. So we're having a fun little time hanging out with us on this Awoken Wednesday. Happy Awoken Wednesday, everybody. Um, got the purple on as well. How close to 3,000 hours? We were here. Let's do a little check. So it takes usually 5 calendar days for them to get clocked in. So as of 5 days, like real life days ago, we're at 2,177. So in the last couple of days, the morning streams, they've been strong. So we've got probably 100 hours between those 2 days combined alone. So, yeah, we're getting there. I think in the next week or two, we'll be able to get it. Definitely by the end of this month, no question. We'll get it by the end of April. If not, I think it really has to do with how soon in April. I think it's the question now. And also tonight's stream is going to help out as well because we've been going almost 2 hours and we've had a good amount of people on tonight as well. I have seen that. Actually, someone in Netanyahu's cabinet did that. I think it wasn't. He didn't claim citizenship, but they basically. Here, let's find this guy's name. I think his name was Alexander something. But he's in Benjamin Netanyahu's cabinet, and last fall there was a sting by the FBI. He was caught in an FBI sting to meet minors, and the United States just let him flee back to Israel. And it barely made any news. The only articles you can find about it is from like local Nevada media. It's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. Alexander. Oh, yeah, it's Tom Alexander Drovich or whatever. Yeah, last August. So here we'll pull up the article. I'm not sure if you guys ever saw this, but this was a holy shit kind of moment. Uh, freaking sex Okay, how about now? For whatever reason, it automatically turned the volume off for me, but I think it should be good now. Maybe it's no sound still. Hmm. Okay, it's back. Great. Perfect. Awesome. Yeah, this was last August. Um, an Israeli government official was soliciting a minor believed he was meeting 15-year old girl for sexual contact according to police, and brought a condom to the planned uh, location, and national cyber dictators seeking to sexually prey on children. The Las Vegas outlet told uh, 8 News Now reported that Alexander Rich chatted with an officer posing before being arrested. Yeah, and he was just able to flee once he bonded out of Israel, or bonded out of jail. Same thing. But yeah, he was able just to go right back with very little media attention. How many did you ever see Fox News talking about this? Did you ever see CNN mention this very much? Uh, kind of become awoken to some of this stuff, right? Is sometimes local media is uh, sometimes what's going to be the best, and sometimes it's the lifesaver. Um, yeah, let's see. Let's go back here. And you just also have some, like, imagine if this was a Russian diplomat or a diplomat from France, Germany, Iran, even. Goodness gracious. Imagine what the media would be talking about if an Iranian official was caught in the United States trying to be sexually involved with a minor. His former commentary online, propelled by in part by Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, speculated that he had been shielded by the government at a time when the Trump administration had been struggling to contain criticism over unfulfilled promises to release all files related to the prosecution of the late disgraced financier and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. And notice she's not a member of Congress right now. $10,000 bond. And oh yeah, he was supposed to come back. He never came back to the U.S. He did his court date online. Um, so I don't want to read the entire thing, but that is um, pretty nuts, isn't it? That a member of Netanyahu's cabinet kind of walks into the country like he owns the place and is going to try and meet up with a minor, and nothing happens. So, and remember, in about 2 weeks, you got to surrender about a quarter of your annual earnings to the government so they can protect people like that. So, shut up and pay your taxes. They tried suppressing you. Yeah, definitely. There was a lieutenant in the Army from Bryant that got caught talking to a 15-year-old, and he's only under investigation, and all the evidence was there. It's not getting big news here, but that's pretty huge to me. And they have a get out of jail free card already. Fortunately, the internet has diminished the ability to sweep these things under the rug. Decentralization of information is always a good thing. Definitely, man. Yeah, like that's something I think about, like with my like mom and dad, and like my grandma, grandpa, uncles, like the without having social media, like that Walter Cronkite dude, like he was it. Like that's all there was. There was no other alternative opinions or stuff like that. Maybe there were other dissenting voices, but not really, right? It was like the entire nation. You had the five o'clock news. That was the news for the day. Next day, same thing. But now you can get news all the time on your cell phone, and podcast like myself. There weren't people like me 50, 60 years ago just on a random Wednesday night talking about. Yeah, that's why we're the most resistant to propaganda. Absolutely. Curb stomp, curb stomp your local pedophiles. Absolutely, man. Yeah, that's what we got to be up against. But okay, well. Yeah, does anyone else have any last second question? I think we're probably at a good stopping point. We're almost at 2 hours. I think we're at a solid. Anyone have any questions about Tiger Woods or the conflict in the Middle East, or even ask another member of the audience if you were talking to them earlier tonight about a topic? Feel free to engage with them as well. I'll keep the floor open for another couple minutes. I feel so happy knowing that the trillions of dollars that they used to program me didn't work. That's right. That's why. That's where we're all on this channel, as well. We were able to, um, yeah, it's like the Matrix for real. We were able to start seeing the code. Good stream, big dog. Thank you, brother. Yeah, thank you for hanging out with us again tonight, man. Thank you for helping make the Discord, or making that didn't help. You made it. Made the Discord, and doing so much for the channel already. Yeah, thank you, Parker and Nurse Rod, the Colonel, Captain Ghost, Jenny Harrell, Bob Cox. We had a very solid group of regulars out here tonight. We also had a couple of. Here, I want to go all the way back. See how high it will let me go up. There were a couple of other people, I believe. That dude on Twitch, that GZDR4EV guy, and then Outpost 231 was also here before the stream. So, very good turnout tonight, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. I think we're going to end it here tonight. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning in some capacity, probably in front of the U.S. Capitol. But if not, maybe somewhere different. We will also be. We'll do something Friday as well. But yeah, I think for tonight, I think we got everything I wanted to cover about Tiger Woods completed. Also tuned into the president. So a lot of fun, guys. Thank you very much for being here. So yeah, I think we're going to end it there. But all right, guys, you have been awoken with Aulden. All right, good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Much love.